Well, anyway, we are your crew. We'll navigate the latest aviation news and information. And to kick it off, Dennis has been following this story about what was this? Was it a float plane that landed on the lake up there by you, or what? What was that?
So Minneapolis hosted the Ryder Cup here a couple months ago, and the city of Chaska, which was the host city for that, had published a ordinance apparently closing one of the lakes adjacent to the golf course. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the local pilots didn't hear about the ordinance and took his float plane out and landed, pulled up right next to the greens and watched the game, from the floats of the plane.
Wow. Well, that's better than a $100 hamburger.
Yeah, I like that.
It probably was cheaper than paying for tickets. But I guess the local police got in a little kayak and rowed out and wrote him a ticket, and they brought it to court, and actually the pilot prevailed. They wound up throwing the case out. They had no grounds to restrict aviation. There was no NOTAMs, and the city had no authority. So it was good that the federal rules trumped, no pun intended, but the federal rules overrode a city ordinance.
I got to tell you, though, if the police came out to my plane in a canoe when I was on a lake on a float plane, I would think I was being punked and I'd try to flip them over.
Yeah, well, no, but there's been case after case after case like that. That if it's not a private body of water, it falls under federal jurisdiction, and they can't do anything about it. There's a lot of cities that have tried, but it's been overturned every time.
Well, did this guy know at the time that he he had the feds on his side, you think, or do you know, Dennis?
He claims that he knew nothing about the lake being closed, and arguably, if you look, there was no NOTAMs, there was no TFR or anything for it, so there really was no indication to him in any of his pre-flighting